You were the alpha. You said, no, I'm grown. You're just starting to crawl. You went into their trap and took their trap. My God, I can't wait to break it all down. It was beautiful. It was aggressive. There was meatheads all over the place, and LSU is back. The LSU that you know, the LSU that you love, certainly on the defensive side of the football, and we are going to wax poetic about it all day long. Jake Flynn, Alondra Tate here with you. How we doing?
Do not let LSU have a defense this year, because we know what we have on offense, and my God, was it fun watching those boys run around and play with an absolute reckless abandon on defense and absolutely bring the thud to Clemson. Clemson, you stink. We did it. I'm excited. I'm doing great. My energy levels are super high.
Yeah,
not a lot of
be.
sleep, just like everybody else. I think not a lot of sleep this weekend.
Doesn't matter. Sleep when you're dead.
Doesn't matter. It's Labor Day. We can take a nap later.
Was there anybody on the road when y'all drove into work this morning? No?
Nope.
Who cares? Because we're
Brian, don't
here.
stop.
Can we have that every morning?
Yeah,
every single
sure.
morning.
Can y'all not
Like-
go to work or
Like
school?
I'm good. No one pissed
I'll come
me
in.
off
I won't
this
even
morning.
complain.
It's great.
I did. I came in about 6 minutes early today. So I just thought that was like I beat the traffic a little bit more. Nope. But I loved it. 6 minutes early. I wanted to catch a little extra game film when I got here.
How'd that go?
I was enough to watch one extra play.
Okay.
You know, quarterbacks rewind a lot.
Oh my God, y'all do. Do you know the buttons yet? Have you
Well,
touched the
I only got 3 buttons down.
Okay. Well,
I don't know the slow mo though. I got to
All
figure
right.
that part out.
we'll work on it. I'll show you during the break. It's not that hard, but yes, we're all excited. How could you not be? The game that LSU played, and look, the only thing, honestly, that was close was the final score. Like, wait, what do you mean? They had the ball. They had a chance to go tie it up. I understand that. But y'all have been watching football long enough to understand how dominant that was. You had 25 first downs to their 13. Okay? You had 354 total yards to their 261. You rushed the ball for over 100 yards, 108 in multiple ways. We will certainly get there. You held them to 31 yards rushing. All right? On third down, a very good third down team, you held them to 3 of 13. You even turned the ball over twice and still were able to dominate that game. You had the football for 37 minutes and change. 37 minutes in somebody else's stadium. It was domination. Like, I can't stress that enough. Go back and watch the tape. There was an aggressor and there was somebody that continued to take blows. There was an aggressor and there was somebody that never counterpunched because they couldn't pick their arms up. It was bad intentions all night long. And the offense made enough plays. The offense did what they had to do in that game. In the second half, when they got going, like, because remember, Tom Allen's coming over from Penn State. So they had to watch a lot of Penn State tape, right? You don't have those players in that scheme. So you were going to have to figure some things out. You were going to have to jab. Okay, let's see what we can do. And then when you came out in the second half, like, think about offensively the success you had. Even when you score a touchdown and they say it's not a touchdown, you didn't allow that to affect who you are. Like, you continue to have offensive success, man. It was, if you could, like, write a script on how you wanted to see this version of LSU, it went about as well as you possibly could put on paper.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things you said right there was time of possession, 37 minutes, 10 seconds for LSU, 22 minutes, 50 seconds for Clemson. That right there tells the story of the ass-kicking mentality that our defense came out with and the efficiency that our offense worked in. Now, it didn't lead to offensive points that we need, and a lot of things need to clean up, and we will kind of go over those things. But the execution that we had, for the most part, on most of our play, we pretty good on third down. A running game that is much, 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 much improved. Rushing yards, 110 for LSU, 32 rushing yards for Clemson. And you just talked about the intentions that the defense came into this game with is highlighted on the very first play of the game, where they run the ball, and you saw something in that play that you didn't see last year,
Yeah.
which is 11 guys with bad intentions, wanting to send a message with the way they hit and make sure that the other team is going backwards at the point of contact and not our guys. So Wes Weeks hit him in the hole. Safety comes down, flying, just hitting the pile. Like, we're just hitting. I don't care who I'm hitting. We're just hitting. And it was like that all night. And, yes, just like you said, like the score to me doesn't paint the entire picture. LSU fans should be so excited because do not let this team this year have a good defense. And by God, we do. And it starts at the top with Blake Baker. That dude is an absolute killer. Bringing pressures. I don't even know where they're coming from right now.
Yeah.
They first third down of the game, they bring a corner blitz in the B gap from the boundary. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Guys scraping over the top. Defensive line didn't have the stats out there, but they made a huge impact in the game because of the technique that they played with, about the scheme they played with. We talked about they played east and west instead of north and south, freeing up our linebackers and DBs to blitz and get home.
It was selfless defense because of what you're talking about. Like, and you're right, like Patrick Payton and Jack Pyburn, they're not going to show up on the stat sheet, but the job they did to crash down the offense or to make sure that they were doing their job, to make sure somebody couldn't peel off on whoever was blitzing. Wes Weeks, right, understood the assignment that he was going to be a part of a blitz package, that somebody was going to be looping around. And so it was him versus the guard.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to run through the guard's face.
Yep.
And
he basically becomes a wedge buster on
he does.
defense. He's
And,
like, I know I'm not the guy that's
right.
going to make this play, but by God, there's going to be two guys I'm going to hit
and oftentimes
that
like,
aren't going to make the block.
you try, like you'll initially, but then you're like, I'm going to make the play.
Yeah.
No, he ran through the guard's face and knocked him back like 4 yards, 2 or 3 different times into the backfield. So whoever was looping around in the game that they had on could get home free. Like, it was complimentary. Like I said, I mean, just selfless. It was like, okay, this is to set up my guy. This is to set up everybody involved. And there's a lot of attaboys that we can throw around.
And we're gonna.
I mean, yeah, we are certainly going to get there. But the one I wanted here in our number one, segment number one, Jordan Gilbert. Because we talked A.J. Halsey, and A.J. came in and played good. But him being out in the first half, we're like, uh-oh, this is a safety game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Flynn told us all lead up in like months. They said safety, safety, safety. And he's right. And I'm like, oh, man. All right, what's this going to look like? And I'll tell you what, before the game, I was telling you a little bit of this. I had a conversation with Jimbo Fisher before the game. He called me. He was covering the game. And he had Jordan Gilbert at Texas A&M. Recruited him out of U-High. And it was one. I said, Coach, I said, rip the Band-Aid off.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what do you think about this? He said, look. He said, do you know how fortunate this situation is? The fact that A.J. Halsey's out for the first half, and you've got a guy that has started games in Kyle Field and Tiger Stadium to line up back there. He said, there might be some limitations. He said, but you got a guy that's going to know exactly where to be. And not many times when you lose somebody like A.J. Halsey, all-conference player you bring in, can you throw back there a senior that has started games at Kyle Field and Tiger Stadium. He said he's going to be in the right spot. He's going to make some plays, and you'll be fine. And I was like, all right, whew, all right. That makes me feel better about the situation, right? And so he stepped up. And that play that we're talking about, right, where Wes Weeks, right, hits the running back, kind of knocks him off his feet a little bit. Who cleans him up? It's Jordan Gilbert, right? Clemson, hard play action pass a couple times. They're trying to get that safety to come running up and so they can hit the post behind him. Who doesn't bite on it? Who goes and doubles the post? Jordan Gilbert.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of times in that game where he flashed for me, and thank goodness LSU had a veteran guy like that to step up, to go into that building. Because imagine, Matt, if you had a redshirt freshman who hadn't really played before, talented guy, but that's the first experience that he has. It's a completely different situation than when you have somebody that started at multiple SEC schools.
Yeah, it's a man, I didn't even think about it that way until you were talking about the Jimbo conversation here. But, like, the guy played really well. The guy played downhill, and we keep talking about that first play, like how insignificant it seems. But it shows the mentality that this defense is coming into the season with, the confidence they're coming in with, and the leadership they have everywhere from Blake Baker all the way down to, we talked about like Wes Weeks being the heart of that defense, and like they just feed off of each other. Like, well, where was that play last year? Why didn't he do that last year? Well, it's a different year. Like that, what we saw, now it's going to be a challenge to keep that mojo, that energy up every single week for an entire season.
Right.
Because they brought it, and they emptied the tank, and they did it from the jump. And that is what a good team, good leadership, confidence can do. Is one year you don't look great, the next year the same guy can look a lot better just because of an absolute mindset, the scheme being absolutely perfect. And yeah, shout out to him, tip of the cap to him. It was and we're gonna, like you said, we are gonna talk about a lot of different people because there was a lot of exceptional individual performances. We'll break down also not the great. There were some things it's first game. Yeah. First game of the season, there is things to work on. There's a lot of tape out there to get better from everywhere, from Nussmeier to the defense to the coach to everything. There's some things that you'd like to have back, but look, that's the first game, and that was about as clean of a first game as you can have, especially from the defensive side of the ball. A lot to be excited about. We're fired up. I've started watching back the tape already. Hadn't gotten through the whole thing of the all 11, but excited to keep breaking down this film.
That's all right. Because you were off location.
I was off location. We were, family trip, family vacay, being a glue guy for the fam.
Yeah, a lot of people take vacation the first week of college football.
Well, it's Labor Day.
Yeah, but in this business, we labor on Labor Day.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, like Labor Day doesn't mean anything to me because the first 30-something years of my life, playing football, didn't really have a Labor Day off. So it's not I've always labored.
Yeah, it's true.
But I also have children that have a day off of school, so they still got to go do something.
Yeah.
So yeah, we drove in. We left last night. Drove in. Got to the house about 10:30. I tried to watch a little bit. I watched the TV copy, a lot of the TV copy again. I hadn't watched all of the all 11 though. So if I'm blanked out during the show at any point, it's because I'm watching.
Yeah, look, I dealt with you during the Tour de France. It's fine.
That's a good point.
I don't think the TV copy does it justice as much. Now, there's some stuff you can take from it, but just like the play you're talking about, like the end zone copy of the second play where they try to run just an inside zone. And that's the one I put on social media because I was like, people need to see this. They need to see all the players doing all the things that they did in this game.